morning to you all present over here. Last time we discussed Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi. Okay. So before going into Kingdom Plantae, that is a detailed study, we have to see algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperm. A small organism is there, that is a virus. So we have to come on that. What do you mean by virus? What are the other organisms that like virus? Okay, so it is what smaller than bacteria. So we have to come on viruses and other types of organisms like virusoids, viroids, prions. Okay, so today we'll see that, and we will also see some questions if time will be there. Then we'll start on next chapter, that is plant kingdom. Okay. But before going into this virus, we have to know that it is a Latin word that means poisonous fluid. Okay, it derives from a Latin word veno, that means poisonous fluid. Okay, so virus means what we can say directly, it is a poisonous fluid, or what we can say, it is a secretory material. Okay, now who told this? So according to Pasteur. So it is according to Louis Pasteur. Okay, according to Louis Pasteur, virus is what? Virus is poisonous fluid. Okay. Now, one scientist were there. That name is Ivanovsky. That separated this one from bacteria. He told that one organism is there that is smaller than bacteria and named it. Okay, and named it what? TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. And also he told that it can filter out from bacteria. Okay, filter paper is there from where bacteria cannot filter, but this organism can be filtered out. That's why he told this virus are smaller than bacteria. So what I told, Ivanovsky, this Ivanovsky separated a microorganism from leaf extract, or what we can say from sap of plant, and named, what named? TMV, tobacco mosaic virus, and also reported that it is smaller than bacteria, which passes through bacterial filter paper. Okay, here two things you have to remember, that the first time who separated this one, so Ivanovsky was there, that separated from leaf sap or sap of the plant and named what? Tobacco mosaic virus. And he also shows that, what he shows, that it passes through bacterial filter paper, and that's why it is smaller than bacteria. This is very, very important. Who first time separated this one? So this is Ivanovsky. Okay. Now this Ivanovsky, after that one scientist were there, Bizering. that called Contagium vivum fluidum or living infectious fluid. So next we have to come on Beeswax. So this scientist, Beeswax, what he does, he gave virus as Contagium vivum fluidum. That means living infectious particle. What he told? Living infectious particle or living infectious fluid particle. So this given Contagium vivum fluidum. Now, one scientist were there that first time he crystallized. Okay, and that scientist name is W.M. Stanley. So what he does? W.M. Stanley. This scientist's name is important for your examination. The term Contagium vivum fluidum given by Beeswax. Okay. Now, W.M. Stanley crystallized TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. First time he what does? Crystallized, and for that first time and got Nobel Prize for that. Okay, so this is the scientist W.M. Stanley that first time crystallized TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, now we have to come on what are the characteristic feature of this virus. So come on that. Characteristic features of virus. Now, first thing that you have to know, virus is a connecting link between what? Living and non-living organism. Why I am telling? Because this virus, if outside the host, it is non-living material, and if it come inside host, it going to multiplication. Okay, and that's why it is known as. So first one, virus is connecting link between living and non-living organism. Okay, so it is what? Connecting link between living and non-living organism. Now, what are the others? These are submicroscopic, non-cellular organism, that is smaller than 200 micrometer. What I told? These are submicroscopic, non-cellular, having smaller than 200 micron meter. Okay, that is having what? 200 micrometer smaller. Now, if we are just telling that what do you mean by virus? So virus are obligate intracellular parasites. viruses are obligate intracellular parasite. Okay, these are what? Obligate intracellular parasite. Now, these either containing DNA as nucleic acid or RNA containing as nucleic acid, but no virus till yet found that contain both DNA and RNA. So what I told, they have either DNA or RNA as nucleic acid, but no virus found that contain both DNA and RNA. Okay, either DNA or RNA contained in virus. Okay, now what I told, they are inert outside the host. Okay, and found in what? Crystalline form. So what I told, they are inert outside the host and found as crystallized form. Okay, found in what? Crystallized form. Now, since they contain nucleic acid, okay, and that's why they are capable of protein synthesis, okay, with the help of ribosome of host cell. So what I told, they contain nucleic acid and hence able to synthesize or synthesis in protein. Okay, so they contain nucleic acid, why? And that's why the ability they are having to synthesis in protein. Okay, and what they are, for that what helping they need? So with the help of ribosome of host cell, ribosomes of host cell. Okay, this is also very important. Which is responsible for protein synthesis? That is ribosomes of host cell responsible. Okay, now come on, what are the morphology belongs to virus? So morphology and structure of virus. So morphology and structure of virus. Now, if we are seeing their size of viruses, so they are vary. Okay, so come on that. First, size of viruses. Now, if you are going into that, so first is a TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. TMV. This is a vary from 300 micron meter to 200 micron meter. Okay, so it is having 300 to 200 micron meter size, TMV. Now, if we are coming on their shape, so what are the shapes are there? shape of virus. Okay, so under the shape of virus, first is spherical shaped, round shaped. So it is having a spherical shaped. Now, under spherical shaped, example are influenza virus. So, for example, influenza virus. Another examples that is a popular one, HIV virus, that is single stranded RNA. So, HIV virus, it is what? Single stranded RNA as nucleic acid. So, first is spherical shaped. Next one is a rod shaped. Rod shaped. Now, rod shaped example, this one, TMV, tobacco mosaic virus is what shaped? Rod shaped. Next is tadpole shaped. Tadpole shaped. Here example is bacteriophage. Those virus which infect to bacteria. So that is bacteriophage. Okay. Now, come on, what are the chemical composition that bacteria contain? This shape you have to remember. Many times I have seen the shape related questions of virus. Okay. Now come on, chemical composition of virus. Chemical composition of virus. Already we know that these nucleic acid either DNA or RNA containing. So first is nucleic acid, here either DNA or RNA. Now these virus contain single cell RNA virus, generally that found in plants. So what I am telling, generally in plant virus, what they are containing, single cell RNA is present. So in plant virus or in plants, viruses generally contain SS, single celled RNA as nucleic acid. Okay, so plants generally having single celled RNA. Okay, but if we are seeing one exception, so exception is cauliflower mosaic virus where double stranded DNA is present. So this is the exception that you have to remember. Exception, cauliflower mosaic virus, short form is CMV, that contain double stranded DNA. Okay, here what contain? Single stranded RNA, general containing, but in cauliflower mosaic virus it contain double stranded DNA. Okay, now in animal virus, generally what happens in animal virus? Double stranded DNA. So in animals, viruses generally contain double stranded DNA. Okay, plant generally having single stranded RNA, and in animals generally having double stranded DNA. Okay, now if we are coming on next one, first what we seen, nucleic acid. Now next we have to see chemical composition, protein coat. So come on that, protein coat. First we have seen this one, nucleic acid. Next is protein coat. Okay, now this protein coat is also known as specific word capsid, that is made up of small subunits known as capsomeres. So what I told, it is known as capsid. So protein coat is known as capsid and made up of small subunits, that is known as capsomeres. Capsomeres. Okay, this you have to remember. Okay, so capsid is there, that is protein coat, and that is made up of what? Small subunits, that is known as what? Capsomeres. Okay, if we are telling that central core and capsid collectively known as, so central core and capsid collectively known as nucleocapsid. Central core and capsid collectively known as nucleocapsid. Okay, they are known as what? Nucleocapsid. Okay, now in some virus an additional covering is present, that is known as envelope. Okay, so that is known as what? Envelope. And if envelope present, so that type of virus is known as enveloped virus. What I told, in some virus an additional protective layer is present, known as an envelope, and those virus known as enveloped virus. Okay, and those known as what? Enveloped virus. Okay, now we have to see what are the viruses are there on the basis of DNA or RNA, or on the basis of the host they infect. Okay, now so first we have to see on the basis of nucleic acid present. Okay, on the basis of nucleic acid, virus is of following types. Okay, now first we have to see if DNA as nucleic acid. If DNA as a nucleic acid, in that condition the virus is known as deoxyvirus or adenovirus. So it is known as deoxyvirus or adenovirus. Okay, and we know that two type of stranded are there. One is single stranded DNA, one is double stranded DNA. So we have to come on, these are having two types. One is a double stranded DNA and one is single stranded DNA. If we are coming on double stranded DNA, so double stranded DNA example is, we have seen cauliflower mosaic virus. So come on that, for example, cauliflower mosaic virus, and Another most proper example is pox virus. Pox virus. So these cauliflower mosaic virus or pox virus belongs to what? Double stranded DNA. If we are coming on single stranded DNA, so single stranded DNA example is cauliphase 5x174. So for example here, cauliphase 5x174, and another example is M13 phase. So these are the example belongs to single stranded DNA, and these are the example cauliflower or pox belongs to double stranded DNA. Now, if RNA is nucleic acid, so come on that. First we seen DNA as nucleic acid. Now we have to come on RNA as nucleic acid. RNA present as nucleic acid. Now, if RNA present as nucleic acid, so that is known as reovirus. So it is known as reovirus. Okay. Now, same double-stranded RNA and single-stranded RNA, and already we told that mostly plant are having single-stranded RNA. Okay, so single-stranded RNA example is what? TMV, tobacco mosaic virus, foot and mouth disease virus. So for example, TMV, foot and mouth disease virus. So it is having single stranded RNA. If we are coming on double stranded RNA, so double stranded RNA, reovirus is there, then wound tumor virus is there. So for example, reovirus, wound tumor virus, short is WTV. Okay, so these are the RNA present as nucleic acid. Now, one more scientist were there, Holmes, that classified virus on the basis of host. So come on that. Holmes classified viruses on the basis of host on which they are attacking. So that is having, and who classified that one? So that is classified by Holmes. Now here the first virus is known as phytophthagin. So first one is phytophthagin. Now these are the virus which infect, or what we can say, which are present on plant. Okay, so their host is what? Plant. So what I can say, virus is present on plant host. Okay, so viruses if present on plant host, that is known as phytophthagin. Now generally these are having what? Single stranded RNA virus. So generally these are single stranded RNA. Okay, these are what? Single stranded RNA. And what we have seen already. So what are the example? For example, potato mosaic virus. So that is TMV. We have also seen TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. So this is what? This is phytophagini. Now, next one is a zoophagini. That virus infect or host is animals. So, zoophagini. Here what we can say, viruses present on animals. Zoo means animals. Okay, so that is having zoophagini. For example, poliomyelitis virus. Poliomyelitis virus. More virus is there like mumps virus, rabies virus. So these are mumps virus, rabies virus. So these are belongs to what? Zoophagini. And the third one is phagini that attack lower organisms. So come on that. Third is phagini. Viruses that attacks to lower organs. Now, it is of further types. If these attack to bacteria, so that is known as a bacteriophage. So come on that. Bacteriophages. Virus attacks on bacteria. Okay, so those virus which attacks bacteria known as bacteriophage. Okay, now usually possess a double-stranded DNA. So what I told, they contain generally double-stranded DNA as nucleic acid. So they are having generally what? Double-stranded DNA. This one you have to remember that bacteriophage containing generally double-stranded DNA. And for example, T2, T4, lambda phages. Okay, so for example here, T2, T4, lambda phages, etc. So this is belongs to bacteriophage. Next one is coliephages, E. coli that attacks on E. coli. So next is coliephages. Viruses attacks on Escherichia coli. It is what? E. coli. Now, if we are coming on that, so example is coliphase FD. For example, coliphase FD. Okay. Now, similarly, name are there like a cyanophage. Cyanophage means bacteria, sorry, virus attack blue-green algae. So, cyanophage. Cyanophage. It means virus attacks blue-green algae. Okay, they are attacking on what? Blue-green algae. And their example is LPP1SM1. So, for example, LPP1SM1. So, like that, viruses are there. If they are attacking to simply algae, so that is known as the phycophages. So, just you can see that phycophages. Virus attacks to algae. Okay. Similarly, is there mycophages? So mycophages is virus attack to fungi. Mycophages. So it is virus attacks to fungi. Okay, or fungi. Same thing is there. Zymophage. So zymophage means what we can say. Zymophage. Zymophages virus attacks to yeast. If virus attacks to yeast, that is known as gymophages. So these are what we seen, the types of